Have you ever wondered if a guitar could sing without a pick? Forget the familiar pick. These 10 artists prove that it takes only your hands and soul to create immortal sounds. Join me as I explore their journeys and secrets. Legends who rock the guitar world with just their fingers. Mark Knopfler. Mark Knopfler, the soul of Dire Straits, is often referred to as one of the world's most unique guitarists. What set him apart from the start was that he never used a pick. Knopfler developed a signature finger-picking technique, using his fingertips to create a warm yet powerful sound. Just listen to the opening of Money for Nothing or the solos in Sultans of Swing, and you'll immediately recognize his unique timbre. By picking directly, he has complete control over the intensity, allowing the guitar to sound both soft and explosive at the right moment. In a short interview on YouTube, Knopfler explained that every guitarist has to find his own voice, and he found it by removing the pick so his hands can touch the strings directly.
A pick is actually the biggest amplifier that there is. But then, after a few years of doing that, I learned to fingerpick because I started playing in folk places.
Thanks to this style, Knopfler not only left his mark on legendary hits for Dire Straits, but also became an inspiration for countless guitar players around the world. For Mark Knopfler, not using a pick is not just a technical choice. It is an artistic statement, affirming his own quality that no one can imitate. Jeff Beck. Among the greatest guitarists, Jeff Beck is always a name that stands out for his ability to create mesmerizing sounds without ever using a pick. He lets his fingers directly control the strings, giving the feeling that the guitar is talking to the listener. Thanks to that, Beck controls every nuance. From soft notes like whispers to fierce, explosive bends. The pinnacle of his career was a 2007 performance at Ronnie Scott's, where Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page, two guitar icons, were there just to enjoy. David Gilmour of Pink Floyd once affirmed that Beck was the guitarist he admired most, showing the great influence Beck had in the music world.
You have a favorite guitar player?
I have lots of favorite guitar players.
So if you had to pick out one that stands out right now?
Probably the person who I have admired the longest and the most consistently is Jeff Beck.
Guitarists also call his style the Jeff Beck touch. The way he controls the tremolo, volume and tone knobs, along with delicate string strokes, creating incredibly varied sounds. For Beck, the guitar is not just an instrument, but the voice of the soul. And each of his performances always leaves the audience feeling a distinct passion and inimitable uniqueness.
You know, I know someone who at the age of 19 taught himself how to play the guitar, and today he's considered by musicians to be one of the greatest jazz guitarists in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wes Montgomery.
In the world of jazz, Wes Montgomery is an irreplaceable icon. What sets him apart is his unique thumb-picking technique. Instead of using a pick, Wes uses the soft flesh of his thumb to pluck the strings, creating a full, warm, velvety sound. The story begins very mundanely. To practice at night without waking his family, he abandoned the pick and used only his thumb, a choice that was accidental but shaped his entire career. When performing, Montgomery often built his solos in 3 familiar layers, opening with emotional single phrases, moving into characteristic octaves, and ending with thick, colorful chords. It was this structure that became his musical signature. Recordings like West Coast Blues or 4 on 6 still amaze listeners with the warmth and incredible dynamics from just his bare hands. Wes Montgomery's influence was strong, inspiring many generations of jazz guitarists, from George Benson to Pat Metheny. He proved that sometimes a small limit, a quiet night of practice, can open up a new style, completely changing the sound of an entire genre of jazz. Derek Trucks. When talking about Derek Trucks, people not only think of his top-notch slide guitar technique, but also remember the way he turned the guitar into a breathing, vibrating voice. Trucks abandoned the pick at a very young age. He said that his fingertips help him directly feel the vibration of the strings, so that each lick, each slide note is more human, like singing. Derek chose open E tuning, a bold but reasonable choice for his style. Thanks to that, the chords resonate naturally, allowing him to slide the slide along the neck as if drawing each sound wave. Interestingly, he rarely relies on effects. Instead of pedaling, Derek gently turns the volume, adjusts the tone right on the guitar, and adjusts the pressure of his fingers to create a range of sounds from rustic whispers to burning screams. On stage with the Allman Brothers Band or Tedeschi Trucks Band, Derek's guitar sometimes makes the audience forget they are listening to an instrument. It is like an intimate conversation between the soul of the artist and the listener. No pick, no frills. Derek Trucks proves that with enough emotion, bare hands are the greatest instrument. Lindsey Buckingham. In Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey Buckingham is both the rhythm player and his own personal band. He rarely uses a pick. Instead, Buckingham's right hand functions as a multitasking machine. The thumb keeps a steady bass beat while the other fingers weave in melodies and chords, creating a distinctive layered sound. Never Going Back Again is a perfect example. Listen closely and you'll hear the steady bass line, soaring melodies, and light strums all from one person, without a pick. This approach comes from Lindsey's self-taught playing.
The way that you play the guitar seems to be completely unique. You didn't use a pick.
No.
You actually used your fingers.
It began as a kind of a Travis pick.
After Merle Travis.
After Merle Travis.
Yeah.
He grew up listening to folk music and was influenced by classical guitar, so picking directly with his hands came naturally. On stage, Buckingham often surprises audiences with the volume and depth of sound he can create with just his finger picking. Every little movement he makes is energizing, sparking excitement from the first note. Lindsey Buckingham proves that when technique and emotion become one, bare hands can replace an entire orchestra.
How we come, but only to fall. Look out for love.
Robby Krieger. The Doors' unique sound is inseparable from Robby Krieger's eccentric guitar style. Trained in flamenco and classical music, Krieger soon abandoned the pick, choosing to pluck the strings directly with his hands. It was the combination of fingerstyle and slide that created the mystical sound, making the audience feel like they were drifting into another world. Listen to Spanish Caravan or Moonlight Drive. Robby's slides have an Asian, Indian feel, both magical and seductive. By not using a pick, he controlled the sustain and nuances of each note, making the guitar sound both smooth as water and explosive at the same time. Krieger was never limited to one genre. He mixed blues, flamenco, rock, and classical tones, turning the guitar into a storytelling instrument. That style became the core of the Doors sound, helping the band carve a deep mark in rock history. Robby Krieger proves, breaking the rules is sometimes the path to sound immortality. Albert King. Of the three kings of blues guitar, Albert King has always been considered the most daring. He played his Gibson Flying 5 upside down without changing the strings, completely reversing the string order. This uniqueness forced him to develop a unique way of bending and gliding notes, creating a rich, resonant sound like a real human voice. Albert King also did not use a pick. He liked the feeling of his fingers directly controlling the strings, so that each bend was full of soul. Each slide contained its own story. His guitar sound was both husky and fiery, as if carrying both the sadness and power of the Southern blues. Albert's influence was so profound that Stevie Ray Vaughan considered him his #1 idol and learned every note. From small bars to big stages, Albert's barehanded playing style opened a new standard for modern blues. He proved that no pick was needed. Just soul and hands were enough to make the guitar resonate for decades. Ritchie Kotzen. Ritchie Kotzen is living proof that one small decision can change the entire sound. Around 2007, he ditched the pick altogether, opting to let his skin touch each string directly. The result is a very unique sound. Explosive rock, saturated with soul and a touch of colorful jazz funk. Without a pick, Kotzen is free to mix techniques. Silky smooth legato, emotional bends, and sometimes thick, powerful plucks like a real bassist. His thumb keeps a steady beat, while the rest of his fingers weave melodies and chords to create a multi-layered soundscape. From his time with Mr. Big and Poison to leading the Winery Dogs, this style has helped Kotzen shine on every stage. Every time he performs, the audience not only hears music, but also feels a direct connection between the person and the instrument, a genuine, primal feeling that only bare fingers can bring. Toy Caldwell. In the southern rock scene of the 70s, Toy Caldwell was the soul of the Marshall Tucker Band and also one of the guitarists with the most unique technique. He almost never used a pick. Instead, Toy's thumb became his secret weapon, taking on the role of keeping the bass rhythm while creating powerful and emotional leads. The thumb-picking technique allowed Caldwell to play fast solos while still maintaining a round, warm, and smooth sound. When he needed a bright sound, he skillfully used his long thumbnail to create a sparkling like a pick, then immediately switched to legato lines rich in blues. Songs like Can't You See or Fire on the Mountain clearly show that mark. Both liberal and full of Southern street style. With Toy Caldwell, a finger was enough to wake up the entire guitar and leave a sound that the audience will remember forever. Matteo Mancuso. In his 20s, Matteo Mancuso has taken the international guitar world by surprise. Born in 1996 in Palermo, Italy, he is famous for not using a pick, relying only on 2 fingers of his right hand, index and middle, to create lightning-fast yet absolutely precise phrases. Matteo's inspiration comes from classical guitar and flamenco, where fingerstyle technique is the soul. He has transformed that foundation into a modern electric style, with a tone that is both clear and powerful. The video of him and Snips performing The Chicken has taken YouTube by storm. Every note is clear. The melody is intense but still maintains an amazing smoothness. Not only the audience, many legends have also admired. Steve Vai calls Matteo the future of electric guitar, and Joe Bonamassa admits it will take a lifetime to catch up with him. With each performance, Matteo proves that fingerstyle is not just a tradition, but also a gateway to a new era where speed, technique, and emotion converge, bringing the electric guitar into a whole new era. The 10 artists you've just discovered, from the refined Mark Knopfler to the groundbreaking Matteo Mancuso, all make the same claim. The hands and soul are the true picks of the guitar. No plastic or metal. They use touch to transfer emotion directly to each string, creating sounds that are hard to match with any other instrument. Now it's time to ask yourself, which of them touches your heart the most? Or do you know other guitarists who also forgo the pick to create their own unique sound? Share your thoughts in the comments section and hit subscribe to continue my journey of discovering more inspiring guitar stories.